I became blind at the age of 16. I have no central vision, very blurry peripheral vision. It's like a disco ball, black in the center of my vision, blurry peripheral vision. I got dropped off and I'm like, hold on. I don't know where I'm at. So I started laughing. I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. Because I have no idea where I'm at. Woo! Welcome one, welcome all. This is your space for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams, and not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. See, this is not just an I thing, this is a we thing, and this is your space for everything empowerment. This is the Speak Your Vision podcast. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, to all of yours and to you and yours and all that. So let's make it happen today. Let's have a conversation. So in this podcast episode today, we're going to discuss a few different things here, all right? We are going to discuss National Quitters Day. Tariq, that doesn't sound too uplifting. What are we talking about here? Come along for the journey. So we're going to discuss National Quitters Day, what that is and what it isn't. We are going to discuss what moving forward actually looks like in your life as you're entering a new year. We're going to hear a story of mine in terms of how I've connected with myself and understanding how things may not always be perfect, and a little bit of my blindness journey, because for those of you keeping track at home, blindness is a thing. It's a part of my life. However, it doesn't define my life. But I have an interesting blindness story that you may not realize that happens at blindness training centers. So we're going to talk a bit about that today. And then finally, I'm going to go over my word of the year. So let's get right into it. Once again, we are Vision of Hope. Get yourself a hoodie, t-shirts, all that. Besides the point, nevertheless. So National Quitters Day is upon us. Okay? National Quitters Day is upon us. Tariq, there's no such thing. Haha! Yes, there is a thing. National Quitters Day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, National Quitters Day is a thing. Isn't that sad? That's pretty sad, right? That there's a day dedicated to quitting. So, here's the situation. It's been estimated, it's been surveyed, it's been discussed that 80% of people, 80, not 15, 20, 35, 40, that 80% of people, not 73%, not 79%, it has been estimated that 80% of people quit on their New Year's resolutions the second Friday of January. Whatever that New Year's resolution is, they quit on it. I had a podcast episode last year a little bit about something similar, about how people don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that thought process of thinking, because what they're saying is, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions because I'm just going to quit on it anyway. Well, you've decided that, okay? Not only have you decided it, 80% of America has decided that they're going to quit their New Year's resolutions by the second Friday of January. How wild is that? You can't even go 2 weeks for the goal that you've committed to for your life? So I wanted to first start off with this because this is a serious issue, okay? Because the trial and tribulation that you go through, it's not necessarily about that. It's about how you react to it, okay? So National Quitters Day is a thing because so many people quit. So many people quit. They're quick to quit, okay? See, I didn't mean to say the word quick there, but it's fitting. So many people are quick to quit. So the second Friday of January is considered National Quitters Day. So reflect on that for a little bit as you start thinking about what you want this year to look like for you, okay? Now, I want you all to understand, and we talk a lot about this. Once again, I'm Tariq Williams, your problem-solving coach. And you have to understand that life isn't perfect, and we know that already. You've been to the podcast before, you've shared with your friends, you've given them the empowerment, your space, right? But I want to tell you all a story. As you all know, I'm blind. I became blind at the age of 16. I have no central vision, very blurry peripheral vision. It's like a disco ball, black in the center of my vision, blurry peripheral vision. Okay, cool. We got that out the way. So I want you all to understand a little bit about my journey. So I had a lot of issues at first that came towards my blindness in terms of what I was able to do. So I went to a training center for blind people called Louisiana Center for the Blind. All right. And there's a lot of different things that you work on at Louisiana Center for the Blind when you're learning blindness skills. Once you're towards the end of your training, we do something called a drop route. But let me go back. See, as you all just heard, I do have some vision. Okay. However, you don't want to see me driving a car because I don't see well to drive a car, but self-driving cars are becoming a thing. Podcast episode for another time. So the thing is, we wear something though at the center, we wear something called learning shades. All right. What learning shades are meant to do is it's basically a blindfold. It's set up so that you cannot see anything. So, Tariq, wouldn't you want to be able to see some things so that you could use that usable vision? The answer is no, because the vision that I already have may not be reliable in different situations, right? So I went to this training center for an allotted amount of time, several months, to be able to learn how to use non-visual skills. So I'm wearing a blindfold, okay? I'm wearing a blindfold and I'm going through my day 8 to 4, how to navigate life as a blind person, all right? And I had to learn how to do things differently. Sometimes, people bring their phone up to their face to be able to see different things or what have you. But at this training center, I was given the opportunity to learn non-visual skills, okay? Fast forward. Towards the end of the training, we do something called a drop route. A drop route is, and it's going to sound wild to some of you, okay? But a drop route is, you're wearing your blindfold, you're wearing your learning shades, okay? And what's happening during the drop route is they put you in a car, van, etc. You have your shades on, and you drive all around the city, the area, twist, turns, all these different things. And, you can be driven around between 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, just driving all around circles, diagonals, cutting through, doing donuts in a parking lot. And then all of a sudden, I got dropped off somewhere. And I get out the vehicle. And the first time you do it with your instructor, but I got dropped off somewhere. All right. And I'm excited. I'm ready for the challenge. Okay. So I get out the vehicle and it's about a 70 Fahrenheit day in Ruston, Louisiana. And I'm excited. I'm ready for the challenge. All right. I get out the van with my instructor. I do some push-ups. Okay. And I'm excited. I'm ready. And then I stand up and I'm like, hold on. I don't know where I'm at. I have no idea where I'm at. I have a blindfold on. I'm not allowed to ask anybody for directions. I just have to think about where to go. And I've been navigating the city a bit in different ways, but I'm actually in a place where I don't know where I'm at. I wasn't given a route from the center to go somewhere and come back. I literally had no idea where I was. So I started laughing. I'm like, this isn't fun anymore because I have no idea where I'm at. But I start thinking, and so I'm using my cane to kind of feel around the situation. And for those of you who aren't tricked, I'm not blind. This doesn't pertain to me. Follow along for the journey, okay? So it's 70 Fahrenheit day. I'm in this random gravel area, and I'm hearing some birds chirping and all that, and I have no idea where I'm at. So I'm like, okay. I'm sitting there for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. I have no idea where I'm at. And I'm like, I'm not going to get anywhere if I just stay still. I have to make a move. So that's what I did. I started walking in one particular direction, hit a gate. I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So then I turn around and I don't hit a gate and I'm going another direction that I take. I'm starting to feel some sidewalk, getting into like a sidewalk area. I get out of what may have been a parking lot. Then I turn a certain way. I kind of hear some cars driving around, but that's not necessarily, for whatever reason, I'm not thinking about it. Okay. So I start walking in a particular direction. I can't give you all a lot of specifics on the situation because once again, I didn't know where I was at this particular moment in time. Okay. And this might sound wild, the fact that this school, this center for blind people dropped me off somewhere where I had no idea where I was and just told to figure it out and not ask any questions. So I start walking in a particular direction. And eventually, I don't hear any cars. All I hear is some birds chirping because it's a nice day outside, and that's about it. And I'm like, okay, let's regroup. I went somewhere, hit a gate of some sort. That didn't make sense. So I turned around, got out of what may have been a parking lot after kind of feeling around with my cane and feeling the gravel with my cane and the texture of the ground. And then from there, I got out. I was like, okay, cool. I went another particular direction, got out of that, and then I just no longer had cars. So I started thinking to myself, okay, in order for life to make sense, I need to be somewhere where I can hear the vehicles because if there's cars driving that might mean it's a major street of the city, of the town. That's a major street. So I actually need to turn back around and get to where I need to be because when you're somewhere where it's quiet, that might be more residential, right? And I'm putting all this together. You guys are along with me for the journey now as I'm thinking about where I need to go for the first time that I'm doing this, all right? So I'm like, okay, let me turn back around. Because then I've given this an opportunity, but there's no cars here, so this doesn't really make a lot of sense. I need to be somewhere where there's traffic. So I start walking back, and then I start slowly hearing the cars again. I'm like, okay, cool. Civilization, we love that. So I get to the street now where there's cars. I'm like, okay, the cars are starting to go east and west. So let me start walking one of those directions. I start walking, I start walking, I start walking. I'm like, okay, I'm hearing more cars now. I hear another street ahead of us. Okay, cool. I'm starting to hear some more things. All right. Ooh, that feels maybe a little bit familiar with my cane. All right. Okay, let me cross the street, see if I catch any more familiar things. I walk. Okay, that feels familiar with the street lights and all that. And I'm listening to different cars and I'm hearing even more traffic now. And it's starting to seem a little bit closer to places where I had possibly have been before. I bring this all up to say, eventually, I started truly recognizing where I was. There was no more guesswork, and I was able to get back to the center. It took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, okay? To really figure it out after some trial and error, listening to traffic, and actually figuring out what I needed to do in that particular situation. See, the thing about life is that you can't be upset with the results you didn't get by the work you didn't put in. So it took me some struggle because I had no idea where I was, but I was forced to be a problem solver. Okay. I was forced in that situation to actually not know where I was from the very beginning of this particular situation and just use some different skills and listening skills and being able to feel around me in these different situations. See, the same thing goes for office work, okay? If there's a particular time we need to get something done and you're doing a particular strategy on an Excel spreadsheet and you realize that the equation isn't adding up, you have to take a deep breath, take a step back, and be willing to do something differently if it comes to the Excel spreadsheet, the work, putting the numbers together, the math work. Things don't always connect easily, all right? So sometimes you have to put yourself in a problem-solving situation to learn what you have to learn. See, a lot of times when we come across an obstacle, people are thinking, oh, okay, because I'm in this situation and I didn't reach that particular goal, whatever it is, then it's not for me. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. Because you reach an obstacle, that's just a lesson you need to learn along the way. So as I was able to problem solving, not knowing where I was at all, by some trial and error and learning, taking the facts of the skills that I needed to learn. And I talk a lot about how to really what it means to be a lifelong learner and a problem solving learner and structured discovery in terms of what that looks like for my online course. Besides the point, definitely check it out. However, I took the time to understand that I'm not going to know everything immediately. If you're a business owner, you're not going to know everything immediately. If you're a podcaster, you're not going to know everything immediately. If you're taking a math test, you actually have to study and learn the thing so that you can do well. And you're not going to have it right the first time. You got to crawl before you can walk. So I'm bringing up all these different things because National Quitters Day is a thing, right? And how are we going to avoid National Quitters Day? By recognizing that there are going to be moments in life where you want to quit. It exists. When I was traveling, I was like, I did my push-ups. I was excited at first. I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. I have no idea where I am. I'm blindfolded. This is insane. How many people do you know are walking around blindfolded, not knowing where they're at? People are not able to drive places these days without being able to get GPS, right? So how are we able to do that? It's because you have to problem solve. All right. I bring up all these stories to say is that a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions, goals, and everything like that. A few years ago, I talked about getting 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I did not reach that goal. Okay. But I'm still showing up. I'm not quitting. All right. I'm working towards it every single day. But this year, I'm a little bit different in what this looks like. And I encourage you to look at it this way this year as well. I've had a lot of awesome guests on the podcast this past year. And it's cool to hear a lot of the resilient stories of what it meant to be true to who they are as an individual. And being true to who I am means getting to where I want to be. And being true to who I am means getting to where I want to be. But in order to get to where I want to be, I have to do things that that person would do. If it's writing an outline before I do a podcast episode, if it's taking time to do some research, if it's making sure I'm ahead of the game here, okay? If it's studying, what have you, all right? You're going to have to do some things differently. Because here's the situation. In life, you do not get what you deserve. You do not. You deserve happiness. There's no doubt about it. You deserve to have success in your business. You deserve to be able to, just be a success and have all the followers. You deserve all those great things. You deserve to be healthy. However, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you earn. So I don't have a New Year's resolution for this upcoming year. I told you that story about problem solving and how important it is to be a problem solver and not knowing where you're at, because people go a lot of different ways when it comes to New Year's. And you may have heard about this before. We're not going the New Year's resolution route this year. I'm going to have a word of the year. But my word of the year is not success. My word of the year is not resiliency. My word of the year is not intention. My word of the year is not happiness. My word of the year for 2025 is failure. My word of 2025 this year is failure. Because here's the situation. That is where the true growth comes from. Because when you fail, you feel uncomfortable. But in order to really truly grow, you need to dig deep in those uncomfortable situations and continue through it. So I want to fail so much this year. I want to struggle so much this year that I have no choice but to learn and to grow and to be successful. Why am I not where I want to be? Why are you not where you want to be? You haven't failed enough. You haven't failed enough. And then when you did fail, you said, oh, this isn't for me. I got to do something different. So, my word of the year is failure for 2025. And I'm going to fail so much that I have no choice to have success at different points when I continue learning. I haven't put you have to put yourself in learning situations. Learning situations aren't situations you've always done. You've done that. You know what it is. It's comfortable. Be uncomfortable. Embrace that. Embrace the failure so you can learn from the failure and do what you got to do. People are afraid of the word failure. Oh, I struggled. Oh, I failed. Oh, it's the worst. It's terrible. I need to quit. National Quitters Day is not affecting us this year. We want all the failure. We want all the fame. We want all the failure on the Speak Your Vision podcast. We want all of it. So that we have no choice but to learn from it and be better the next day. What am I doing today, Tariq? My best. My best. You do yours. But doing your best might mean failing consistently. So you can actually learn what it is you need to learn. Get guidance, seek coach, seek mentorship for sure. No doubt about it. But as for me, my word of the year is failure because I want to fail so much that I have no choice but to learn and grow and just reach new heights, new levels in 2025. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with struggle. There's nothing wrong with failure. The problem comes when you react to it by quitting. You say National Quitters Day, the second Friday of January. I would argue that people quit every day. Every day can be National Quitters Day because it's easier to quit than to be resilient. It's easier to quit when you reach a failure than to try again somehow. Keep going. Keep going. Keep failing. Keep failing. Give yourself the opportunity to actually fail. You know what's crazy? Some people quit before they even start. That's the ultimate failure. We don't want that one. We don't want that one. But some people quit before they start. I've had a lot of different struggles in my life and not knowing where things are in my life and my blindness really taking a toll on me in different ways. But when I realized that as a blind person, someone could drop me off in a town where I had no idea where I was, and I was able to learn what I needed to learn and get the information by listening and using different skills and using different senses to be able to figure it out. Oh, there's nothing I can't do. But recognize there's nothing wrong with failure. So once again, my word of the year this year is failure. I connected with that word. And I'm going to learn a lot of lessons along the way, and I'm going to grow along the way. If you want to have a New Year's resolution this year, that's fine. Commit to it. Don't quit. If you don't, that's fine too. But I suggest the word of the year, something that you're going to live by. For me, I'm going to fail so much, I have no choice but to grow. What's it going to be for you? Thank you for listening so much to the Speak Your Vision podcast. I'm excited for what you're going to do this year. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's see what it looks like to do something different every day to get to where you want to be. Because remember, I promise you, you deserve it all. The success, the wealth, the health, all of it. You deserve it. But you don't get what you deserve. You get what you earn. Thank you for listening to Speak Your Vision podcast. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. Speak your vision. Let's get it. Go earn it. Vision.